Whoa, hey, are you ready for this episode of Steven's Garage 216? I am. Let's get to it. I got to get the accelerator and cruise control piece mounted back up, get these pieces on, get the front bumper on, get the hood on. But the cooling box, the radiator and air conditioning box and stuff like that right back. Some wires and stuff here so I can put all that back in wire loom. Try not to make it too much. Still got to get the two oil pressure sensors put back on the back here. Nothing fancy, but I'm going to show you a trick. If you don't have any looms, those holders for your wires and stuff like that, I'll show you a trick and stuff like that. But you can see where we're at. So I figure some of you might want to know where the wires go on your Opti Spark. I don't know if all distributors are marked or not or whatever, but I have a spare one right here. So if you're looking at it like this, this is how it should be sitting on your car. And right here, you've got on the bottom, you got 1, 7, 3, 5. And then on the other side, we've got 2, 8, 6, 4. So this one ain't no good. You can see it's cracked and it was not working right. It was bad right from the get-go. All right, so I got it a little zoomed in here. We got our Serpentine belt on. We're getting ready to go. We've got an idler pulley. You got your tensioner pulley. So it's going around the crank. From the top of the crank, it's going underneath your tensioner pulley. It's going to swing like this and just sit here. And then from the bottom of the pulley, it's going to ride on the top of this idler pulley and come around the air conditioning unit. Now, what we're trying to do is we're going to go from the air conditioning unit like this. All of it's in place. All we got to do is get that much more onto the alternator. So we got our 15 millimeter wrench on the tensioner pulley. We're going to pull this sucker way down. And there we go. Let's zoom out of that just a little bit. See? From the top of the pulley, underneath your tensioner pulley, onto the power steering, around the alternator, around the air conditioning, right across the top of that pulley, and down underneath, wrapped around the crank there. So that's how your Serpentine belt goes on. Alright, so I want to show you, not a trick, I don't know, just something I think makes it look better for the your spark plug wires. If you don't have any looms, you just grab yourself a handful of zip ties. For those of you old timers, old school guys, you're like, oh, I know where he's going. Throw your first zip tie on like that, real loose. Then you'll grab a second zip tie and put it between your first and second wire from the bottom and wrap around the zip tie like this. just like that. And you're not going to make it completely tight either. None of these. You're not going to do any of them completely tight until you're ready to finish up. Then you put another wire between your second and third wire, spark plug wire, and run your zip tie down just like that. So you can see it's holding the wire away from each other at a nice distance. And then you go another one between your third and fourth wire. And run that down, and you can see just like that, it gives a nice space between each wire. So now you go back through and you do your first wire, your first zip tie I should say, and tighten it all the way down. Now you can do your zip tie between the first and second wire, your zip tie between the second and third, and your zip tie that's between the third and fourth. Now you can see on there, let's turn that just a little bit. Now you can see on there the nice spacing between all of them. And then you just clip those down. Get all your zip ties cut down real low. There you go. Then you take another zip tie, and let's say that we just want to hold it like that. We'll go right around this bracket here for the radiator hose. And we'll keep that held up like that. And now your wires are staying away from your exhaust manifolds. And then if you want, you can do it again right there, just a few inches back, or maybe just do these two and then just do these two. So you would just tie it around these like this. Get yourself another zip tie. Run that down close but not tight. Now you can tighten the first one. You can tighten the second one. There. And then you can repeat that step again, maybe a little further back. I got my fuel line in between there, that's alright, but you could do it again right here. And then all your spark plug wires are staying off your exhaust manifolds. And there we have it. I put the radiator and air conditioning coil back in. Stuff like that. So I also wanted you to see this. There are O-rings on the end of all, well, not O-rings, but there's some type of gasket O-ring or something on all your air conditioning. And I wanted you to see that I had replaced that one. I've replaced that one. And even there's two of these, like, I have examples of them over here on the table. But there's these two like washers with silicone on them. This is a good example of it. And see down on there? You can see the washer right there. So there's two new ones of these on each side. Anything and everywhere. I got a new gasket in here. I put some fresh oh Lord, I'm losing my mind here. I replaced the oil that goes inside there, And you can see I'm missing a bolt here, but I think I showed you in a prior video what makes it easier to get to your power steering line later down the line. I chopped up this bracket. Makes it easier to get to your power steering line right there. And just more room for a lot of stuff in there with a lot of that chopped out. Somebody's gonna argue it doesn't have its strength that it used to have. Once have, it's fine. I've done this on another car before. You can see the water pump is all on. We got the belt on. All we need is for the throttle body to get here already. It's been ordered for a while now. We've got to get this hose here. There's a T right here. This goes on here. This one goes, oh, I put that on there because I wanted you to see how nice that looks. Oh, flat black. Can of flat black and just a little bit of prep wipe on there. You can throw some fresh flat black on there, man. It makes it look real nice. This hose here goes on this line. And I'll throw that up there as far as I possibly can and then move the clamp to the end and tighten it down. We gotta put the almost forgot, gotta put the bolts in that go on the back there. Let's see. And still I gotta do the vacuum lines. I think I'm gonna work on that right now for you guys and get these vacuum lines all done and stuff like that. I'm gonna work on that right now. All right, here we go. I got the EGR stuff hooked up just so you can see what it is in case you're running yours and putting it back together. You can't remember how it came apart. But this top port on your throttle body here, and I know this isn't the 58, I'm just using it as an example. The top port here is this line that goes back there. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out real quick. And then you have this next port below it, which goes into the bottom port of this. And this is your vacuum canister, the purge solenoid. And that runs to the back of the car wherever your charcoal canister is, which I think is probably somewhere in this area, but whatever. That's like that, and then it gets plugged in. And then you have two vacuum lines off the side of your intake. It doesn't matter which one, but the bottom one here I have going into the check valve, and then there's a T, and then there's two lines coming from in the car, in the harness there. So you can see that line is going into that. This line is going down there and following that one. But they both run to inside the car. This one here, this is for your fuel pressure regulator, or also check valve for your fuel, but fuel pressure regulator. We go to the other side over here. You've got your pollution control valve, your PCV. Just loops right back around and back into itself like that. This small line here goes onto the inside line of this sensor here, and then back out, and your EGR valve should be mounted right here, and that's where that would go. I'm going to end up taking this off and just blocking that off. And then this line here is obviously comes over and it goes to your brake booster. So there you go. Pretty sure, I think the Camaro is the same way. Trans Am with the LT1 in it. All right, there you go. So all I got left is what I'm working on right now is I'm going to put the exhaust on. I really want to get the exhaust on because we're almost ready to start this thing up for fire and stuff like that. But I really want to get the exhaust on, and I want to start getting make sure all my fluids are full. And we've got a vent here to make sure we get all the air out, all the air out of the engine for the coolant. We're going to use that. We're going to use this here to get all the air out, make sure that it's as cleaned out as possible. I am also, before I get real serious about it, I'm just going to leave this off like this because this will be my highest point. So even above that, this will be my highest point. So if I start filling it, well, this technically would be, but I need the air to be able to get out somewhere. So if I can get this, start filling this up here. Start filling up in here, and I got the 2 radiator hoses on, everything's hooked up, then most of my air should come out here and here. Once I see just fluid coming out of this, then I'll keep pouring until I see fluid coming out of this, and should be good. Still got to tighten up that clamp. There's a bunch of things going on here, but this is what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to get the rest of the hoses on. I'm going to get the exhaust put back on and stuff like that, and I guess I'll use this one. I'm still waiting for it. I don't know what's going on. It's still showing that it's in Sacramento. I ordered it from a place in California, so I'm still waiting for it. But I'm going to finish bolting this on the rest of the way, get everything together as much as I can. Let's get to it.
He's going back down.
And he's going back underneath the rocks.
Oh, he's really going down there.
Okay. That's cool. All right, here's the last part of this video. And the last of anything, well, not the last of anything to do with the C4 Corvette, but she's off the stands and she's on the ground. Obviously, you can tell the car's facing a different direction. The computer does have to go and get programmed, the prom, whatever, but I got a place where you just send the whole computer. Either way, it don't matter. I gotta clean up the wires still, like I said, put that in wire loom. I'm not gonna bore you guys with that kind of stuff. But I will get it done, get all the wires put in the loom. She's running LT4 cam. She's got a lot of interior stuff to do. I got new seats coming that are like the ones in the C5 that we're gonna put in here. I'm gonna fix, actually I'm just gonna replace this center console piece and get that put on there. Other than that, new windshield. She's going off to the same school that did the Camaro. The body and paint on the Camaro. They're gonna do the body and paint on this. It's leaving very soon to get that done. But all the gauges are reading good. Everything's fine. There's a little up and down in the idle, but like I said, I got rid of the EGR stuff. The computer's going to have to be set up for that and for the cam and stuff like that. But for right now, it's fine. You can see I got plugged some lights back in down there. Get all the lights back in place, make sure the headlights are working again. You know, there's a spot over there. Make sure all the lights are put in, everything's plugged up and stuff like that. But there it is. The C4 engine is done. It's rebuilt, 30 over, LT4 hot cam, GM Performance hot cam put in it. Got to get rid of the stick and put the shock back on. I got that in the garage there somewhere. I'm gonna get the wheels are gonna get repowder coated, cleaned up and repowder coated. And I'm gonna say once the computer's done and that's done, and I get the seats and a little detailing and stuff like that, this thing is gonna be very, very nice. Oh, and the air conditioning blows ice cold air. It's wonderful. Nice ice cold air on the air conditioning. So that's going to be the end of this video, and that's going to be the end of the project for the C4 Corvette. Not really the end of the project, because once it comes back from body and paint, over the winter I'll try and pop out a couple of videos while it's on like the nicer days that I can stand it. I love the cold anyway, so we'll see how that goes. But as long as there's no deep snow or anything on the ground in the yard and I can get in the car, I'll put the seats in. We'll still do that. We're going to still put a nice stereo system in it, detail the hell out of it. But for right now, the engine is back together. It's rebuilt. It's in the car. It's running. Everything seems to be really good right now. Gauges are reading fine. That's it for right now. So I hope you enjoyed what little bit you've seen on the engine building and part of this video. If there's anything that I skipped, because I think I've said this plenty of times before, that there's a lot of videos, there's a lot of stuff that I missed and got corrupted or won't work or whatever's wrong with them. So I tried to do what I could and stuff like that and salvaging them and stuff like that. But it is what it is. I'll work harder on it. I may not even do YouTube much longer. Who knows? But anyway, if you like this video, you like what's happened, you like what's going on with it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, make some comments. I'm begging for comments and nobody does. It's very rare, few far in between. I get some comments and some likes. So I hope I can get something done. I'm not a millionaire or rich by any means at all whatsoever. So I do this when I can, you know, with what I got. Take care. Thanks. See ya.